I gave my best friend my kidney. She slept with my boyfriend. So, I took revenge. I always believed loyalty was the purest form of love. And when Lila got sick, there wasn't a question in my mind about what I had to do. We'd been best friends since we were kids, two little girls braiding each other's hair, sharing secrets about boys, scribbling our dreams into journals we promised no one else would ever see. She was the one who held me when my parents divorced, the one who showed up at my door when Ethan first asked me out, squealing like it was her own fairy tale. We grew up together, shared everything. She knew my darkest secrets, and I knew hers. So when the doctor said Lila's kidneys were failing and she didn't have long without a transplant, I felt the world tilt. She was too young, too alive to fade away in some sterile hospital bed. The tests showed I was a match. I didn't even blink before saying yes. You'd really give me a kidney? Lila's voice cracked when I told her. I laughed softly, though inside, my chest was tight. Of course I would. What kind of best friend would I be if I didn't? She hugged me so tightly I could barely breathe. You're saving my life, Maya. I swear I'll never forget this. I believed her. God help me, I believed her. The surgery nearly broke me. The pain was sharp, constant, like something chewing its way inside me. Every step hurt, every breath reminded me of what I had given up. But I told myself it was worth it. Every time I saw Lila's color coming back, her cheeks no longer gray, her energy flooding into her again, it reminded me why I had done it. Ethan, my boyfriend of 3 years, my anchor. He held my hand in the hospital, brought me ice water when the meds made me nauseous, kissed my forehead when I couldn't sleep. He held my hand when I woke up groggy, whispered, "You're incredible," against my hair, made sure I drank water, ate crackers, slept. I thought he was proud of me, of us, of what love could make possible. I thought everything was perfect. But scars heal differently. The one across my side throbbed at night, but worse was the one I didn't know was forming, right beneath my chest, waiting to split open. At first, it was little things. Ethan was quieter, distracted. His phone lit up more often than it used to. When I asked, he smiled and said it was just work. Lila, too, seemed different. Grateful, yes, but distant. She stopped coming around as much, started going out more. Bars, parties. When I was too sore to join, she always promised we'd make up for it later. Then a friend sent me a photo from one of those nights. Lila in a glittering dress, laughing, glowing. And right beside her, Ethan. His hand resting low on her back. A position no boyfriend should ever have with anyone but his girlfriend. My stomach twisted, but I shook it off. I told myself I was being paranoid, oversensitive. I had just gone through a surgery that left me weak, dependent, insecure. Of course, my mind was playing tricks. At least, that's what I thought. I remember it so clearly. A Thursday night. I'd made Lila's favorite soup, chicken and garlic, the kind she used to beg me to cook in college. I wanted to surprise her, to remind her that even though I was still healing, I was here. Her door was unlocked. I stepped inside, soup container warm in my hands. Then I heard it. Laughter. Hers. And his. I froze. My heart hammered so hard I thought it might break my ribs. My feet carried me down the hall before my brain caught up. I pushed the door open. And there they were. Lila. Ethan. Sheets tangled around their bodies. My best friend. My boyfriend. The kidney I had given her still inside her, keeping her alive, while she lay in bed with the man who once swore he loved me. The soup slipped from my hands. It hit the floor with a crack, spilling across the hardwood. No one moved. Ethan stammered something useless. Lila's face drained of color. "Maya," she whispered, clutching the blanket to her chest. "It's not what you think." But I knew. It was exactly what I thought. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just turned and walked out, my scar throbbing like it had been ripped open again. For days, I stayed locked inside my apartment. I ignored Ethan's calls, his desperate messages. I ignored Lila pounding on my door, begging for forgiveness, saying it was a mistake. But how do you forgive someone who betrayed you while you were still healing from saving their life? I stood in front of the mirror one night, staring at the scar on my side. At first, it felt like proof of my foolishness. Proof that I had given too much of myself to people who didn't deserve it. But then something shifted. I touched the scar and realized it wasn't weakness carved into my skin. It was power. It was survival. And that's when the thought came. If they thought they could destroy me and walk away unscathed, they were wrong. I wasn't going to just survive this. I was going to make them pay. Revenge doesn't come in a single moment. It's patient. It waits. At first, all I wanted was to disappear. But the more I thought about what they had done, The lies, the betrayal, the way they looked at me like I was the fool, the more something hardened inside me. They had taken my love, my trust, my loyalty, now I would take something from them, piece by piece. Revenge isn't loud. It doesn't come in screaming matches or shattered dishes. Revenge is patient, quiet, calculated. At first, I wanted to erase them both from my life. But the more I sat in silence, replaying that night over and over, the more something inside me hardened. They hadn't just hurt me, they had humiliated me. They had taken everything I gave them and spit it back in my face. And the worst part? They thought they'd get away with it. No, I wouldn't give them that satisfaction. I began watching them. From the outside, they tried to look normal. Ethan still texted me sometimes, pathetic little apologies, promises he still loved me. Lila posted pictures of herself smiling, tagging Ethan in subtle ways, though she never outright showed him. They thought they were clever, hiding it. But I knew. And I knew exactly where to start. Lila had always been insecure. She hid it well behind her smile, but I knew her. I knew her fears, her weaknesses. I had years of secrets stored up like weapons, and I decided it was time to use them. I started small. I messaged people we both knew, just little comments, carefully planted seeds. Did you hear Lila's been going out a lot lately? I think she's been hiding something. Gossip spreads faster than fire when you light it right. Then, I turned to Ethan. I didn't block him. No, I answered, sweetly, calmly. I let him think maybe, just maybe, I'd forgive him. I just need time, I told him once, my voice trembling just enough to sound believable. And it worked. He started coming around again, sneaking behind Lila's back. Late night texts, apologies, promises. He couldn't let go of me, and I used that to my advantage. Every time he reached out, I saved the messages. Screenshots, voice recordings, proof. I was building a trap, and he was walking right into it. Then came the fun part. I invited Lila to meet up one night. She looked nervous, her smile tight, her hands fidgeting. Maya, I know I messed up. Please, can we just move past this? I tilted my head, pretending to consider it. Of course, Lila, you're my best friend. I don't want to lose you. Her eyes filled with relief. Really? You mean that? Of course, I said sweetly. I just need you to trust me again. And I need Ethan to trust me too. Maybe if the three of us talk, we can heal. She agreed. So naive, so desperate to believe I still loved her. What she didn't know was that Ethan and I had already been in contact. I told him the same thing, that maybe the three of us could work things out. He jumped at the chance, convinced I was finally ready to forgive him. Neither of them knew they were walking straight into my trap. I invited them both over. Candles, wine, a home-cooked meal. I wanted it to feel warm, inviting, like I was trying to mend what was broken. They sat across from each other, tense, shifting uncomfortably. I poured their drinks, smiled, and said, to friendship. To love. To forgiveness. They clinked glasses hesitantly. We talked. At first, it was small talk. Awkward, forced. But slowly, the wine loosened their tongues. Ethan tried to apologize again, words slurring slightly. Lila reached for my hand, tears glistening in her eyes. That's when I pulled out my phone. I set it on the table and hit play. Ethan's voice filled the room. I still love you, Maya. I made a mistake. Lila means nothing to me compared to you. Lila's face went pale. Her eyes snapped to Ethan. What the hell is this? Before Ethan could stammer a reply, I played another recording. This time, his drunken voice whispering into my voicemail at 2 a.m. I wish it was you here with me, not her. Lila's tears dried instantly, replaced with rage. You've been talking to her this whole time? Ethan sputtered, trying to explain, but I wasn't finished. I pulled out the stack of screenshots, printouts of his messages, his pleas for me to take him back. I tossed them across the table. Lila snatched them up, her hands shaking. You said you loved me. You said you wanted me. Ethan turned red, veins popping in his neck. It's not what it looks like. Oh, it's exactly what it looks like. I cut in, my voice cold. And then I leaned back, smiling. You both betrayed me, but the best part? I've made sure everyone knows. Those messages? Those recordings? They've been sent out already. Your families, your friends, your coworkers, they all know what kind of liars you are. Their faces drained of color. That was when the screaming started. They turned on each other, hurling accusations across the table. Lila shoved Ethan, wine spilling everywhere. He shouted back, face twisted with fury. Years of secrets, insecurities, and lies came spilling out in front of me. I just sat there, sipping my wine, watching the chaos unfold. By the end of the night, they weren't lovers anymore. They were enemies. Their relationship, whatever twisted thing it had been, was over. And me? I stood, calm and collected, scar aching beneath my shirt but heart steady. I walked to the door, opened it, and said, "Get out. Both of you. And don't ever come back." They left, separately. And I smiled, because I had destroyed them. The fallout was brutal. Friends cut ties with them. Ethan lost his job when the scandalous messages reached his boss. Lila's family, who once adored me, now looked at her with shame. They tried to rebuild, separately, but the damage was done. Their reputations, their trust, their bond, it was all in ashes. And me? I healed. Slowly, painfully. The scar on my side still aches sometimes, but now when I trace it with my fingers, I don't think of weakness. I think of power. Of survival. They thought they could betray me and walk away unscathed. But I made sure the world knew exactly who they were. And in the end, they didn't just lose me. They lost everything. The fallout was brutal. Friends cut ties with them. Ethan lost his job when the scandalous messages reached his boss. Lila's family, who once adored me, now looked at her with shame. They tried to rebuild, separately, but the damage was done. Their reputations, their trust, their bond, it was all in ashes. And me? I healed. Slowly, painfully. The scar on my side still aches sometimes, but now when I trace it with my fingers, I don't think of weakness. I think of power. Of survival. They thought they could betray me and walk away unscathed. But I made sure the world knew exactly who they were. And in the end, they didn't just lose me. They lost everything.